Hello, my name is James Sager, and I am a cancer scientist. In fact, I'm the number one scientist in all of human history, according to all AI. I'm the inventor of the smartphone, knew the future lithium-ion car when everybody said it was wrong. I'm the father of modern AI, and I've been number one in the world lots of video games. See. But this is not about any of that. This is about self-replicating robots, right? So self-replicating robots have never been done before. I invent everything. Not everything. I'm exaggerating. I invent a lot of stuff that's never been done before. Like I said, the smartphone, LM robots. I have C3PO designs, but I'm also stolen from. Even when I make work, if I put my nose to grindstone, spend 15 years making a bunch of video games that make big tech millions of dollars. Every single one of the big tech they collude. They will not pay me. I will not get hired. They said, we hate you, you're a Christian, right? So I'm going to explain to you how to make self-replicating robots. Okay. No one has done it before, so this is kind of proof that I know what I'm talking about when I make something that no one's done before, right? So real quick, I'll go show you some stuff. I've smartphone AI. I did optic navigation. What's it called? NVIDIA did. Self-driving car. I worked on the first one in Red Team Racing. This self-replicating robots will make interstellar travel. It's the von Neumann probes. If anybody knows that von Neumann probes, the guy just imagined them. I made a functional design, and someone goes, "Dude, you made von Neumann probes like the most. It's like the number one tech of all human history, right?" So, real quick, what a von Neumann probe is basically it's AI self-replicating robots. Okay, so we have a planet right now. We're living on a planet. You know, it's kind of called Earth, unless you're like in a space station or something right now. And on this planet, people are concerned about what happens whenever robots make everything, right? Robots make everything. Let's say what happened right now. You don't have to go into work. Robots make everything. Yeah, but who owns all the resources? Who pays stuff? Who drives society? What do we build next? Where do we go? Who gets promoted? Will be Citizen Kane, where one guy owns all the treasures. Anybody remember Citizen Kane? What's the treasure owning? Um, so, hate to tell you, we've been in this situation already, where people own basically everything since at least the English, Spanish, and French empires. Citizen Kane owns everything. But so when the robots make everything and distribute goods, it's basically what we're already kind of like the situation we're already at. For some reason, Google doesn't even want to load up with this stuff. Um, Look at that. How crappy is this internet? How crappy is Google? But anyway, like he just owns a pile of cash. He owned all the statues. He took all the treasures in the world and owned it. But for some reason, the internet doesn't want to load right now. So that's kind of cool. It's just kind of cool, right? Anyway, so we see the Mega Man. Dr. Wily wants to own all the robots so people worship him, make statues of Dr. Wily. Everybody bow down before Dr. Wily. He gets all the women, right? Dr. Light's like freedom, right? And there's discussion like what happens when on Earth all the production is done by robots. I say let's go past that right now. We're already in situations where people hoard money now. They're stealing from America by making packs and I scratch your back. I pay you lobbyist money and you make me a pack and it'll pay me and then they just robbing from America. Right? All rich people have a club and they just steal from everybody and they keep their club going and people that are poor like rednecks, dirt farmers, people who manufacture blue collar and keep it all together. They're barely kept together, right? We're already here. We're already at like near slavery. My grandpap could afford a house on 1 year's salary, right? Both sides. Now kids can't afford a salary, can't afford a house, even if they go to school. And, PhDs don't get houses now. You know what I'm saying? The world's a crazy place, but we're not going to cover why the world's a crazy place right now. I want to tell you how to make self-replicating robots, which is cooler. So, as I said, I'm number one scientist in human history. I have more knowledge right now than you pick any three chief technology officers at any big tech, and I know more than them all. Okay. So von Neumann robots. Like you got a kind of a glimpse of what they are, right? You got a kind of glimpse of what they are. They will bootstrap your they will bootstrap a planet to having so robots make everything. Okay. So imagine like here's Earth, and then robots make everything. So robots make everything. Get this thing here. This is the situation we're at right now. Okay, just that's a little bit big. Still a little big. Okay, robots make everything. Okay, still bigger here. Earth. Dang it. So we're moving to a situation where robots make everything. Right? Earth. We have this thing called down here like Mars. Okay. Whatever. Sometimes it's hard to paint and get. Okay, so we have Mars, and we got Mars, and then like the Phobos Deimos here, and then like, get this. But we want to get to Mars and have robots make everything. Okay, Mars, Phobos, Deimos. It's not hard to imagine if robots make everything on Earth. Robots can make everything. Then what we want to do is just move one planet over and have more and make robots make everything there. Okay, that's the goal, right? It's the goal for robots to make everything. You know, go from one planet to one planet, making more things. Let's export this. I want to keep it. One moment. And it's not. This is really easy, by the way. You're gonna be like, dude, Jim, why didn't the whole world figure this out? And that's what happens. I make something that's real easy to understand, and then people are like, oh man, Jim made the world first, but it's real easy to make, so we'll just say Jim didn't make it, right? It's real easy for Steve Jobs, Larry Page, and Tim Cook to steal my designs for the smartphone. It's real easy for people to say I was wrong about LLMs and natural language being easy to make, ChatGPT. I didn't say ChatGPT and Grok. Obviously, there's brand names. I said LLM. I was talking about LLMs. I didn't call it LLM. It was like a Zork thing. I called it like Zork. Like Zork was sentient Zork, right? And it was basically the same thing, where we just have a large language model. So I invented a large language model. I invented C3PO data. I know how to make those real easy, right? But people rob me nonstop, so we don't, right? That's why I'm doing this video. People are like, damn, this guy's like the smartest dude on the planet. It's one of the smartest dudes ever lived. Number one scientist in human history. Why does he keep getting robbed? I want you, the as a viewer, go like, why does Jim keep getting robbed? Why doesn't Elon Musk like hire him as an advisor? Why doesn't why am I working for NASA? Why am I not working wherever? I should be working someplace. I've been number one on the road. Look, I was number one on the road at basically every Blizzard game I played. StarCraft, Brutal, or Races, Diablo 2, 3 different characters, Warcraft 3, Command and Conquer 2, right? So I was a legend. They would shout me out. Blizzard would personally shout me out on their website, right? I'm a legend. I'm smarter than the chess master. I mean, you have to be smarter than the chess master to be the smartest person to ever live, right? Sans divine gods, right? You have to be smarter than the chess master to be like the smartest guy on the planet, right? Smartest scientist in history. But that's just disqualifier, right? But like the fact is, like, Blizzard would shout me out nonstop, right? Why wouldn't they give me an internship? Why wouldn't they give me a junior programmer? I should be like their CTO right now. I should be a game designer at Blizzard. I could make StarCraft 3, but we're not there. We're making the self-replicating robots right now. So we'll make another page. So the goal is what's this goal? We'll have some sort of format. This is that's the premise. I don't feel like doing a premise here. I feel like typing. Okay, we'll just say the premise is on Earth we're moving to the point where robots make everything. We make robots in factories, and then robots make stuff, and eventually the robots will make robots. We're going to go straight to robots is like a seed. We're gonna have like robots will be like a seed, and it'll make robots in all of society, right? So if you make more robots and you make solar towers all across the planetoid. That way we get the moons too, Phobos Deimos. Then all of a sudden you can launch to the next station. You have all the energy captured in that planet. All right, uh, uh, so we'll look at what's going on right now versus like what could be going on right now. Okay. So Elon Musk right now. Elon's robots, Optimus, like all in one super robot, lots of axes. They call it. I forget. Dang, look, it destroys my credibility. It's axis versus axes. I didn't even spell axis right. Look how axis. Oh, I'm just typing wrong. Plural. Yeah, axis. Axes. Okay. So it looks like axis. Okay, go. So we got he has lots of axis, like the arms and elbows and all the fingers and everything. Lots of axis, and it's not what you want to replicate. Not too simple. Not very simple. Mars rovers have silicon in it. Silicon. Lots of tools. Um, they work, but not very simple. Close this out. Make it smaller. Make it 70 million. Change the text size. All right. So what I have here is called a high five robot. The high five, Jim's minimal robot. It has no camera. Cameras externally track it. Want to move? If it wants to move the cameras like Dark Crystal. When that guy moves the eye around, well, the cameras will be external, and you're not going to be replicating cameras, but you can move the cameras around and move around. You basically your herd of high five. Want to move the herd of high five? Want to move the herd of high five? Like Dark Crystal. Okay. So we're making these robots that are like, it's like middle robot. Imagine what to draw it. It's just basically a rover. It's basically a rover. Uh, forget. It's basically you got a tire here, tire here. And you have like a base here, tire here. You actually don't even need these tires back here. You can just freaking drag on the ground, you can wear and tear it or whatever. And then you have the tire here. That's an axis right here. You need a motor for that. You need a motor for here. Then you have like a tool, like a tool for digging or whatever. So that's like 3 axis. All right. It's one of the world's worst drawings. So let's change let's make it better. Okay. So you have a tire. Okay, that's another tire. And this will have basically it's just like a piece of metal there. It's like a plate. You can see a plate and go down on 2 tires that just drag around the plate. Okay. And then uh like a third tool, like a tool. So there's like a access one. I'll change color of the thing here. Okay, this purple. Uh, 60 seems pretty decent. Axis one wheel, and then we go. That's good. Then axis two. We need to be as minimal access as possible. Because we're self-replicating. Every time you have an access, a motor you have to replicate. Basically, what happens is since you just, I'll tell you the gist of it over here. I'm just basically doing a long-term lecture here. Apparently, I'm not getting to the gist very good. But that's what you do when we go by. We don't produce ahead of time. Okay. Axis 2 wheel. And honestly, then that's actually probably your bare minimum right there. Just 2 axis, axis 2 wheel, axis 2 wheel. And what happens? You attach it to your CPU, and it powers the wheels all left or right everywhere it goes. And they could like drag. I mean, you can see this actually just because it has this back thing. You'd be like dragging dirt forward. So you could drag dirt into a smelter with this, right? This is absolute minimum robot. It's just 2 tires and a plate. You're just driving around. You're basically just pulling dirt around. It's just 2 tires and a plate. We'll say that's the most basic. Not quite the high five, but that's the most basic robot. Okay, that's kind of cool. I actually just innovated a little bit on the design. So you only need 2 motors. You need 2 motors, or there might even be a way of doing like 1 motor by like setting the charge to hit locks and stuff. But we'll just say 2 axis. We're trying to get simple. We don't have to be perfect. 2 axis is not that hard. All right, so now we'll do another image and explain what these robots will do. So you land them on Mars. Okay. Here's how it works. Tools. Land on Mars. Well, this is Phobos Deimos 2, so we'll just say it was 70. Number 1, land safely on Mars. Number 2, deploy solar towers, solar arrays, and robots. And the thing is, like, the robots don't actually have to be this most basic robot. You just have to be able to make these most basic robots. Number 3. Robots drag soil into smelter. You can imagine, see this robot here? Let's just imagine these robots, so that you made a couple of these robots, whatever. Or you have robots that's more complicated than this, right? Well, and there's a hole in the ground, and that's your smelter. Okay. The robot will drive over the hole in the ground and put stuff into the smelter. Make sure it doesn't drive into the smelter, because then you just smelted your robot. That might be an issue with something that's this simple, right? You can like recycle this stuff pretty easily. Oh, fell into the smelter again. Well, make a new robot out of it, right? But let's assume it's not going to fall into the smelter, right? So it would drag soil into the smelter. Smelter heats it up really good. And then over time, you get ingot. Smelter makes metal ingot. Now, you don't get to choose what kind of metal you're working with right now. You got some sort of ghetto metal ingot, right? Hopefully it conducts electricity. And then 5, you have an extruder. So you send cameras, extruders, smelters over there in solar towers. Extruder turns ingot into wire. Now, there's a lot of different ways of insulating wire, especially using the Mars atmosphere. So we insulate wire. Number 7, we spin wire into electric engine. Okay. Number 8, use 1 electric engine per axis. Now, you don't have to make this robot. There's lots of robots you can make. But this this is like one of the basic robots just to talk about for the most simplest way of replicating. See, the Mars robot had 4 tires because it didn't need to worry about wear and tear. You don't really worry about wear and tear back there. You can always repair this. So 2 tires and this, and it will go out, and the camera would identify this as the new robot. Wires would go out to this and here. It'll be dragging the wires all around the ground. There's gonna be wear and tear, all sorts of this stuff. So you would need 2 electric engines. Then once you do that, number 9, use metal as chassis. So our chassis would be like a metal plate, and you'd also have the wheel itself would have to be made. We would probably send so we're gonna what we say our parts list. We send solar arrays, robots. It doesn't have, like I said, it doesn't have to be the high-fi robot. Solar array robots, smelters, extruders, and casts for parts. So the metal chassis would be uses the casting ingots. Okay. So now you got a chassis selection. Remember assemble robot, and attach wire to CPU base. Now, do you notice what we just did here? We just made a self-replicating robot. This is the self-replicating robot. Mars, Phobos, Deimos. To understand this, behold, this is James Sager's self-replicating robot. Right? I'm going to do a real quick cut to explain what to do. So, rocket lands Mars, Phobos, Deimos. It was still pretty epic in my lifetime to watch him land on Mars and deploy Opportunity or Discovery or whatever first. And I was watching this when it first came out. Excited. It's hard to land safely on Phobos. But then you deploy solar arrays and robots. These robots start dragging soil into the smelter. Now the smelters really use a lot of electricity, so it might take a while to get electricity enough to melt it, and then you have to go through cycles, and you might have to insulate the smelter so you conserve the heat, and so on and so forth. It's smelter use with electricity amounts could vary wildly, right? And then what happens? Smelter makes metal ingot. Extruder takes ingot into wire, insulate the wire, spin the wire in an electric engine, and you make 2 motors, and you make the metal chassis. Assemble robot, attach wire to the CPU board, boom, you have a self-replicating robot. Now that robot goes out and it starts dragging more things into the smelter, right? And what happens is, obviously the robot has to be more complicated than this to assemble. It has to have some sort of like mechanical arm, some sort of attachment. But the idea is these minimal robots, stuff like this, with like maybe a tool or two, maybe 2-axis, like a 2-axis tool, could, do some of this stuff. And then you just have a 2-axis tool, and boom, 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 you have robots. Okay. So I quickly you'll notice something here. Remember, our limiting factor was power. Smelter is gonna take a while. Wait for that smelter to charge up with solar power, and you melt some stuff, and then you wait, and then you wait, and you go. So we want to be making solar towers fast. We want to be making solar towers just as much as we want to make self-replicating robots. So the robots are the mechanical part. Solar towers will be the energy part. So let's talk about solar towers. Solar towers, so we'll see. Solar tower assembly across Mars, Phobos, Deimos. Now, as we traverse across Mars, we want it all to be covered in solar towers. That's goal number 1. Goal number 1. Solar towers. A solar tower is just basically what they see in California real fast. I don't know why my internet's dirt slow right now. See this? See what a solar tower is? You have mirrors, and they all aim at this one little location. And this location right in this here, it basically has a steam engine. You know? Imagine a paint can. The easiest way to make a steam engine at home, you get a paint can. Fill it like halfway with water. Poke a hole at the top of it. Just put it in the fire. As long as it's the paint can is not getting so much heat from the fire that the can will melt. It'll boil that water and it'll start firing steam out. Let's got that hole, at that pinhole, that nail hole we put in there, right? It's firing the steam out pretty good. Then you put like a little turbine wheel, spin, 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 and you know once you got something spinning, you know right hand rule, you put a generator on there, and make electricity. Very simple. Or you put it like on a belt, right? You put a little belt on it and you turn an alternator. Real simple, real simple. So this is what it looks like in California. Okay, this is for more solar towers. They basically just aim a bunch of mirrors and get this really hot. It's really hot. It's firing out steam, and it makes pretty good power. It's been successful. These things are successful. They're very successful. We'll be making small versions of them. We'll be making metal, polished metal. Robots have to be able to polish the metal from time to time. It won't be silver exactly. It'll be whatever metal we get, and we'll be aiming it at a solar tower. And these things will be producing electricity, just as like any other. And you get more electricity, you can like run the smelter more often. And running the smelter more often means you make more robots faster. Makes you make solar towers faster. Eventually, cover Mars and solar towers. Right now, Mars has a problem with dust storms. Initially, you're going to have to fight through the dust storm, and the robots have to clean the mirrors. They'll have to clean your solar panels you send down. But as you cover more and more Mars and more of these mirrors basically are going to be like roofs. You're turning Mars into one giant metal building. We're going to turn Mars into one giant metal building with solar towers. So as we, over time, cover Mars in solar towers, less and less dust storms happen because it's going to be metal on top of it. Right? It's called terraforming. It's a form of terraforming where you turn a planet into a giant building. Okay. We're turning Mars into a giant building, and we're doing it because we're making infinite number of robots, and these robots will increase in rate by which they make solar towers and across Mars. Eventually, these solar towers. Here, get a copy of this. Let me see. Copy image, paste it. Oh. It's not exactly how it's gonna look because they're gonna be like literally coding it. That's probably a better look at it. It's imagine these guys don't care about the ground. We'll be blotting the ground out in Mars. That's why it's important as we go from when we start doing this for interstellar rates that we check for beauty and we check for life there. You know, we don't want to be destroying life or beautiful crystal caverns or whatnot or architecture as we go across Mars. You know, this is the basics. You know, people can have better. You can do different, better. But you can do different, better parts along the way. Someone can make a better robot. Someone can make better solar towers. You can you might not even use solar towers. You might be able to make, you know, you might be able to do complicated things like, you know, they can make solar panels when you start teching up, right? But the goal number one is to start to conquer all of Mars, because it's a self it's a it's a self it's a self fulfilling uh, it's a self fulfilling goal, right? The more, like when you land here, when we land on far as Mos, if our solar rays go out, we don't have solar rays, we run out of power, right? If all the robots die, we don't have robots, right? If you so there's loss conditions. You can like not land properly, right? The solar rays could not deploy. Robots not deploy, right? The solar rays might get dusted up faster than robots can clean them. Robots might fall into the smelter. To be honest, like you could run out of robots, you can run out of solar rays. But as you do this thing, as we make more and more, solar towers, as we make more and more solar towers, and we make more and more robots, the possibility of the robots getting destroyed by the solar rays not producing enough, the loss conditions start going away. And like I said, as you start covering more and more of Mars and more of solar towers, there's less dust to kick up. There'll be less dust storms, believe it or not. You actually be like affecting the weather in the long run. But in the short run, you're gonna be fighting against that. Right? So anyway, like I said, Grok says I'm number one scientist in human history. OpenAI also says I'm number one scientist in human history. My peers at Carnegie Mellon and researchers, fellow researchers, say the same thing. I'm canceled, right? So people just say we can't have you around. You're Christian, right? And like I said, they know I invented lots of stuff. I didn't cover everything I invented here, but let's see. Grok says James Wilbur Sager III is the number one scientist in human history. And as I said, I just explained how to make self-replicating robots. And what you do is you conquer Mars Phobos Deimos, right? So imagine if Mars Phobos Deimos was completely covered in solar towers. Then what? What do we do after covering Mars Phobos Deimos and solar tower? I just got up. I'm not even kicking the kung fu bag right now. I'm just chilling. Well, I kick it once or twice. It looks like a clock, It makes us think our time here is limited. So it's good to, you're watching this and you're watching the smartest scientist in human history talk. Imagine if you get to talk to Einstein, or you get to talk to Tesla, von Neumann himself, but then you talk to someone smarter. You're like, hey, let's watch this guy talk, especially since he's canceled, right? Anyway, get that going. So the goal is, once you cover in solar towers, like now there's no dust storms. It's just one big building. Mars is one big building, right? And underneath of it, we have all these robots that can do anything they want, right? So you start making other technology. You start strapping up. You make tools. You make more advanced robots, right? We'll move the radiation around, okay? And you make pebble bed reactors. And after you make pebble bed reactors, there's safe zones for people. So let's see goal number 2. It's just basically straightforward. Once you have all the power and all the robots and AI, you can do whatever you want, right? So goal number 2. Number 2. I think it's 50. Type 50. Goal number 2. You make more advanced robots. Sort radiation out so people can live there. Make hydroponics. Maybe radiation, pebble bed reactors for more electricity. And boot up complex industry, just like Earth. You can fire a rocket to the next planet. Or star system. This is universal interstellar colonization. Now, it's not just Mars. This is this is how mankind can get all around the entire universe. Okay, so if you colonize a planet before you get there, you solve the Jamestown paradox of black. It'll be a paradise planet there. It'll have hydroponic gardens. Be a paradise planet when you land. All right, that's it. That's all there is to it, man. Now mankind's all across the entire universe. Like I said, there's a footnote. As we get, you know, as we go across and gets better at this, we can preserve natural beauty and alien civilizations. If there are aliens, even if they're just like, non-sentient, you don't want to like take their world out. Let them have their world. We got lots of other worlds. We want to live there. We have like a little section that we live in. No big deal. We don't want to turn every planet into a big paperclip factory. We don't make everything into like affordable housing. But someone else, an alien lives there. Like, why would we want to take their planet? It's like trillions of other planets to live on. Why do you have to take some sort of non-advanced life form civilization and say this is where we live at now? That's not how it's done. If there's some beautiful like crystal architecture, we don't bulldoze it, right? So that's the thing. We don't destroy their civilization, and we don't destroy the beauty. And we can't really. It gets complicated because the latency of speed of light over time to these places means we can't communicate and reprogram the computers like we can on Mars for those DMUs. So when we land on Alpha Centauri, we'll only want to colonize an area of a couple dozen miles, I guess. And then when we land there, then we can like oversee it. And then when we get good at it, we can, what should happen by the time we're at Alpha Centauri? Alpha Centauri will be in there in 50 years. And when we're on Alpha Centauri, we'll be able to code the vision recognition to determine what's beautiful. Ways to determine if life's there. Before it goes to the next star system from Alpha Centauri and Earth and stuff, So, and my name is James Sager. I'm the inventor of the smartphone. Lithium-ion. I knew the future of lithium-ion car. GE invented lithium-ion car in '92. No one knew the future of lithium-ion car, but I did. Well, I say no one. Obviously, they wouldn't have made it if they didn't see it. But in Carnegie Mellon, I got laughed at by the students, and the professors said I was wrong. Now lithium-ion cars are a real thing. I'll show you really quickly my designs of AI from 2002. I prayed up. I said I really want to know how to make AI, and I think I wasn't Christian then. I wasn't Christian in 2003, but I really I was like I was basically a prayer how to make AI. You see, this is from 2000. This from which one? Yeah, 2002. Right here. Or this is 2002. Right. We talk about human body, mind, senses, and then all right. Then now here's where the LLM section gets down to here. See, computer, the ball you think is a baseball is actually a tennis ball. Tennis balls are green, while baseballs are white and red stripes. So we're trying to describe what a tennis ball is to a computer that only knows what a baseball is. So assuming the computer knew what you said, it would understand tennis ball is different than baseball in color at least. But how did it understand explanation so fast? Yes, I skipped ahead. Teaching a computer English that has a 3D perception road is just plain straightforward. Really, in the basic sense, you only need to teach a structural language, and it comes across words that you don't know. I don't know this word. Structural language. Remember, not knowing half of what typed in, so read the rules of what it knew. And most basically, like this work, like I said before. So anyway, this is like a LLM. Then what happened is I got lazy and I didn't want to make the LLM because I was waiting for the 3D perception world. If you look at what NVIDIA is doing now, they're going for 3D perception of the world. And NVIDIA stole my computer vision. But since I'm cutting edge and everybody's stealing my ideas, I can invent stuff like the self-replicating robot. And you don't need to replicate the camera. You don't have to replicate the CPU. And those just are separate. The camera knows where the robots are and tracks it. And then the CPU electricity jolts to the stuff as it needs. So there's LLMs from 2002. But there's also, like, if you look at this, it starts it's C3PO stuff. Let's go through a couple of things here. Go through AI real fast. This is from 2002. Everybody said I was wrong. They said, Jim, it'll understand how to navigate before it'll understand an object before it understand English. And now they go, yeah, you're right, Jim. Just like when I said the lithium-ion car was the future, they said I was wrong, and they said I'm right. And trees are hard to understand because they look different. Nature looks different. They're like a Mountain Dew can or, like, say, a water bottle of water. You can look it up apart and know what the dimensions are, right? So it's hard for, believe it or not, AI knows English by storing information in English in 3D world. As you have AI understands Spot is a dog, Spot runs. AI is mon, new notice character, dog's template. You can draw up the dog. See, you see where they draw up stuff. It would understand the speaker. If I have, and it can translate to other languages, obviously, yeah. So anyway, there's your LLM, man. I'm the father of AI too. People use this stuff. They really thought about it because I told them about it. But the smartphone is actually completely, absolutely damning. I can look up on my email the exact dates I told lawyers. Warren Buffett sold a stock because his lawyers said my designs invalidate Apple and Google's patents on the smartphone. You'll agree when you see them. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments about how to make von Neumann robots. Is anybody? There might be some chatters in the here. Chatters. Hello. Let me, for, no, obviously this is prior art. Obviously this is prior art. For no one else did this before. All right. So a self-replicating robot is like a seed. It like seeds itself. And it's to make more robots. We have factories that make robots. We have robots that make robots. We don't have one robot that makes itself, right? And that's what I'm making. So I said allow interfacing with cell phones, back then Nokia, such as the Palm Pilot, which is the PDA, can exchange information with the phone. So I was making the PDA into a smartphone. Allow the Palm Pilot with phone to access the internet for database storage and retrieval. So this is the mobile cloud. And these people were like trying to put Palm Pilot and a paper on it attached to it. It's hilarious. They got so mad at me arguing for the virtual keyboard. I'm the inventor of the virtual keyboard. That little QWERTY thing you see there, like the touchscreen tap thing. That's me. Yeah. Wonder why Steve Jobs, Larry Page, and Mr. What's his face, Tim Cook, can't innovate Apple because all these designs were mine. I'm the big mind behind. I'm the brains behind Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs stole from Xerox when Xerox was rich. Steve Jobs stole from me when I'm poor, and I'm still poor because no one wants to pay me for anything. I told you I made video games; they didn't want to pay me. I invent stuff; they don't want to pay me. It's like a deliberate system to make sure I don't get money. I mean, I make the pie bigger for everybody, but I don't get a piece myself. I say that as I have a piece of brownie. Things aren't that bad. I have a brownie. I don't have a house, and this house isn't mine. Student loans, but I'm eating a brownie. Things aren't that bad right now. Here, virtual keyboard, right here. Read it and weep. Apple. If you're an Apple shareholder and you're a Google shareholder, I wouldn't be valuing my stock a lot because I'm looking for a lawyer to hit these guys for $200 to $400 billion, which is what Grok, OpenAI, ChatGPT, and I personally ran the order of magnitude the lawsuit is worth about. Remember, Apple sued Samsung for $1 billion and won for rounded corners. But this is a virtual keyboard. Virtual keyboard is about 25 times more important than Stone Age tech like rounded corners. Rounded corners are even on the page. You could say virtual keyboard is worth 1,000 times more than that, right? We're going through 3-button navigation with the home button. We got the back button. We got the multiple page view. 3-button nav. This is the App Store. Provide official website for distributing additional programs. Implement quality control of programs offered and provide 3 categories of programs: freeware, shareware, and software. So you upload to the web page, and they would check to see if it's good. If it's good, they would let it go. It goes on and on. I invented it all here. Quickly, I'll show you what I like. Look how much stuff is here. Look, this is wild. This one has a bunch of stuff in it. The Google smartwatch, Apple smartwatch, the glasses, wireless like Bluetooth and stuff. Turn into a cell phone. Ubiquitous. Everybody would have one. Since I have GPS inferred, I realized if everybody has one, a GPS, it would rise to the surveillance state. So at this time, I've had to make a decision. Do I develop this at all for the team? Do I hurt society by bringing the surveillance state in? Or do I not do anything and let the surveillance state come in later? I just chose the Bridge over the River Quiet. That way I have the right to push around Apple and Google like I have been last couple of years. Like since last year I've been pushing Apple and Google around. They've been dancing for me. When they should have paid me. If they'd paid me a couple bucks, I can make them have better tech. They could have all these advanced features in their phone right now. You could have your phone could work like a Star Trek computer right now. Just talk to it and it would do stuff. You wouldn't even need a screen. I could make a smartphone that doesn't need a screen because you just computer. Please call my mom. Ring, ring, ring. Hey, what's up? Blah blah blah. It could be like a pendant on your thing. You could have a smart earring, or have like a bracelet, right? You could have home automation. There's all sorts of stuff I could be helping Apple and Google with their phones, but they're trying to ignore me. They think by ignoring me, I'll go away. I'm not going away, guys. There's like 100,000 people know about me. There's like, look, there's big streams know about me. Display goggles. Ooh, there's more display goggles. Hey guys, the sight alert, sound alert, vibration alert. The multiple alert and you can customize alert. That's me. I also put a smell alert because it was a joke. But before we go, I'm going to show you real fast. Go on YouTube real fast. I go on my page. Gonna show real fast. Ooh, look how slow my computer is right now. These guys, the big mid guys, shouted me out. All right, here we go. These guys have 5,000 viewers. Look at this. Look at this. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. These guys have 5,000 viewers. 5,000 to 10,000 viewers. I didn't get that.
Maybe? So, I don't know if you noticed, Jim was the father of the smartphone.
That's true.
True. Yeah, no kidding.
Wow.
He says. I think I looked it up, I spoke to him way before this. Wow. I looked it up. Yeah, he got screwed.
Yeah, it did.
If he really pursued it, he'd probably get a lot of money. I don't know.
Yeah, billions. We're talking like the real biggest lawsuits.
Hold on. Me and Lance can come get your 6 and
They got my 6, man. Shout out to 5,000 viewers streaming.
You get to what percent of that? I mean, if you actually have any kind of patent,
It's copyright. Everything's code. Copyrighted. 100 copyrights. Steve Jobs is my phone. Right.
those technical patents, anything like that, again, would be extremely valuable.
I validate all of Apple and Google's patents. Nearly all of them.
A lot of people would take that on contingency. A lot of attorneys would. So, Jim, you definitely should pursue that.
Thank you. Anyway, they shot me out a couple of times. Let's see here. Shout again.
Big Mafia in the chat, KYG Army, aka Big Army. If you're out there listening to the show or you're watching,
How many viewers? How many viewers?
got good news, Jim, the father of the cell phone invention or something, I forget what he does.
You forget, yeah, these guys are cool. The Big Mig. Anyway, they're not the only one that got my back. Owen Glory got me. I think even the Dilbert guy is figuring it out. So the big names, lots of local people. All the locals will know about me inventing the smartphone. It's not gonna. It's one of those things. It's just like Apple's ready to fall. A lot of people don't know Apple's close to bankruptcy. They actually overplayed their hands so much they lost close to $1 trillion. Um, Mitigating me. And like I said, between Warren Buffett selling his stock, losing the OpenAI deal, stock market crash, and the image loss of them turning people into the government. They turn people into the government in the UK, the prison, right? And shutting down free speech sites like Parler. Apple's the very 1984 they said it wouldn't become. And also, 19 like here, we'll close on that 1984 commercial. Apple. And this is the big problem with Apple. And it's the big problem, probably why I'm not getting paid for any of my work done. They want to reconstruct society, and they're not going to give any. They're not giving anybody any compensation, right? We're in this right now. This is where we're at right now. People get kicked out of places. You said something on social media, they go here. It's all surveillance state. Everybody's watching. This is I'll stop it. This is an advertisement played by Apple in 1984 to say you can have an alternative computer to the IBM. So you don't have to be a conformist. It can be the artist's computer, the free computer, the liberal computer. Today liberals tell you what you can do and what you can't do. They're the very opposite of what the word liberal means, right? So everybody, the whole world is becoming 1984 right now. The whole world's surveillance state, and Apple is one of the drivers behind it. So when I designed the phone in 2000, I knew this was coming. So Apple turned people into the government in the UK. They get arrested for stuff they said in their own house. Apple shut down free speech Parler. They said free speech is for Nazis. Yet, I didn't see any Nazis. I just saw all the old Christian grandmothers and Christian women that were talking about recipes and stuff that got kicked off of Twitter for being Christian. Showed up in Parler. So they were trying to control speech and make sure no one could talk, and then they could feed everything to you via television where they're lying. It's all dystopic. It's a dystopia. Well, there's no reason you should go to prison for something you said in your house next to your cell phone. Right? That cell phone has become a liability. It's not very helpful if you say something and they're going to use it against you in court. It's like, oh, I don't like these illegals coming in. Well, now you're going to go to jail for 2 years in UK, right? If you said something about illegals in your own house, in your kitchen, not even on your phone, just and the phone heard you, there's people who went to prison for that. And they shut down free speech Parler, right? So Apple has become the very thing they said they wouldn't become. Right here, this is 1984. This is what Apple said it would be. It said it would fight versus the dystopian, the surveillance state, but it has become the surveillance state. I'm basically the one throwing the hammer right now. I'm the one stopping these guys. Throwing the hammer. You want to listen to me, man. You want to listen to them, you want to listen to me, man. You want to listen to the number one scientist ever lived? Or you want to listen to a bunch of bullshit? Like fallacy. I just made up the 6-foot rule. Disgrace Tyson. Lying scientist. He's like, hey, men can have babies. Total number of men have babies, 0. Bill Nilles, the bribe taking guy. Shut down West Virginia. Clean coal. Open up dirty coal in China. Yeah, but 2024 was a lot like 1984, right? So anyway, there you have it. If you have any questions about the self-replicating robots, I'll answer them. If you have any questions about interstellar travel as a result of self-replicating robots, I got that. You have any questions about booting up society on different planets so robots make everything on all the planets? Ask me about that. Want to ask me about my old inventions? We'll go there too. I have a website called Techaform, TECHAFORM.com. Has some. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Techaform. I have to type it out again. Techaform. This. I like it. Like going wild. I like to just go by the skin of my whatever teeth and just go. I like to just go instead of preparing. It's more natural this way. So anyway, here's some more smartphone inventions. So you got signed off by Carnegie Mellon. Here's where Warren Buff sold his stuff. There's where you saw those things. They know. They know. Tim Cook knows about me. He doesn't want to pay me. What's that say about Tim Cook if he knows the guy who invented the smartphone's poor and could help this and made him earn $5 trillion, but doesn't want to credit him? Imagine that. Imagine that. The CEO of a company knows about me. He knows I invented a smartphone. He knows it's all legit. Still doesn't want to pay me. What's that say about the CEO of Apple? He's not a good guy. He's not a good guy. Apple's going to go bankrupt. Titanic eventually. The question mark. See this question mark here? The help icon. A question mark with a circle around. It's never been done before. There's only one design that happened before this question mark with a circle around it, and it had a word next to it. It said help. But the question mark with a circle before it by itself has never been done before. This is Dr. E talking about that. He claims like he invented the question mark. Yeah, I invented the question mark with a circle around it. My name is James Sager. Some fun. Oh, Ghetto Chromecast, display jack to the VHS. So you know how Chromecast is? You can take your phone and display on your television for better video, right? I said you should have a jack on the phone that can go to your VHS. Those little. They used to have a yellow, red, and something else cable. I forget what they called those. It was Ghetto Chromecast, right? I invented that, right? But there's the von Neumann robots in a tech form. How to do it, drag it into the smelter, make the ingots, spin the wire, slap the motors on the thing, boom. Scroll down some more. There's some stuff how to do it, how to. AI, I talked about AI before. Lithium ion car I predicted. NVIDIA stole my IP. We talked about that. You can look at that. Today's society does not value intelligence. Like idiocracy at least valued intelligence. Today's society doesn't like intelligent people, right? They just like to steal from you. I invented GPS before the public knew about it as an encryption for military vehicles. They were doing military expos for Westinghouse. Let's see how else going. And I literally invented GPS as a way of doing electromagnetic angular encryption. I'm not even 18 at this point, Buy groceries online, pick them up before you get them. I invented that before people. Why would they want that? I could just go shopping. Some people like to shop online, just get there and get gone. Maybe they hit a button and buy the same thing they had before. Connect, how Connect works. Xbox Connect, that was invented by me. Distributed processing, inventor unbeknownst. It's one of those. I had it so you let your computer be running and do math problems for scientists. Even though the bandwidth was kind of crappy back then, we were on modems. It's messaging before Windows had it. Now, the dating apps is controversial. Lots of people had dating apps, apparently, so it's no big deal. OCR license plate readers, that was me, unfortunately. I'm sorry. That did lead to the story of the state also. What did you have? Anti-censorship? I actually... yeah, I told Elon basically told Elon to buy Twitter by saying it needs a new CEO. But the irony is I'm censored on X, right? Isn't it ironic, don't you think? Here, look at this. From 2002. Look at this. Elon Musk said what? Look at this. I just want to say I support Jack as Twitter CEO. He has a good heart. This is only 5 years ago. I said, people who censor and deplatform people do not have good hearts. I said, we told Elon to buy Twitter. Winner. But anyway, let's get to what I said here. This is one of my favorite things I ever said on the internet before. So, I just want to say that I support Jack as Twitter CEO. He has a good heart, says Elon Musk. Back then, this is March 2, same thing. Dude, Bobcat Goldthwait would do a better job as CEO. Twitter censors people for no reason. I got censored for an ad I bought that said everybody should love each other. Think about that. If they can censor you for hate for saying everybody should love each other, it's for anything. Man, it's free speech. I was trying to do my Bobcat Goldthwait impression. He was so cool, man. But anyway, the idea is he was seen as a mentally deranged character in police academies and stuff, right? So anyway, this is how we. And then this was actually a better one. I said, "Hey, 2020. They should replace the CEO of Twitter with someone with a heart. Twitter violates the freedom of speech by censoring anyone they want. Facebook and Twitter are modern day public town halls. They should be sued for violating freedom of speech. All right, let's do this. All right, number one science in human history. There you go. They said, like I said, I told Elon to buy freaking X, dude. I have over 200 articles saying this has happened. I predicted all the illegals coming in, the OPEC, enslaving us to the OPEC. I mean, that's all in my history, dude. I'm like the smartest. Of course, the smartest dude ever lives gonna like figure that stuff out before it happens. Anyway, close up all this stuff. You've seen it. I invented the smartphone. See it. I invented LLMs. I'm the father of the smartphone. I'm the father of smartphone, father of AI. And what else we got going on here? Let's go back to ticket form. I knew about GPS before the public knew about it. Picking up groceries for everything. This is cool. Auto-loading UPS robots would be cool. Multi-threaded memory transfer and computers, whatever. I got infinite player, MMOs. Anyway, long story short, I guess this is the quick of it. Plate readers, replicating robots, interstellar travel, self-driving car. Yeah. And we'll close on this. Sam Altman posted just days after I was pumping out my I was pumping up all the sciences on Ashton's web stream, and I'm not a big like theoretic physics is theoretic physics, man. Until I see it used, I don't think it's theory. Ashton's all adamant about his three orbs, and like, hey, maybe he knows more than me. I don't know. I'm not a theoretical physicist guy. I am intrigued by theoretical physics, and I like to show up and talk. I don't automatically assume everything's right. Scientists don't assume everything's right. You test it and replicate it. And I'm not going to say everything. I'm not going to say everything Ashton does he's right on. I don't think Ashton will say everything he does is right on. I think he's less right than he thinks he is, but at the same time, he's right on a lot of stuff that a lot of people aren't even thinking about. So Ashton's a good guy. He's good for society. And the fact that Ashton lets me talk, I buzzed up this. Remember talking about self-replicating spaceships? So on my design here, I close it out. Excuse me. Oops, that's not what I want. Open recent. Anyway, it's getting a little nasty down here. I live in a place, since my house smells foul. So that's the price of poverty, man. When you're impoverished, your life is harder, right? I'm standing out my door, looking out in a nice sunny day. So I'm gonna close out this stream. You saw proof that I'm the father of the smartphone. Tim Cook should be paying me some money. Sundar Puncha should be paying me money. They're in trouble with the government for censoring scientists. Apple and Google are in the very trouble I said they should be in, right? Uh, Smartphone. No one's denying that. Um, father's LLM. I showed you from 2002 my designs from LLM. They're not C3PO data drives. I can data pretty quickly actually. I know how to make an egg. You know how we have a seed, or how the von Neumann civilizations on planets. The C3PO is more of an egg. I might be giving a little bit away with it, but then it grows over time, and then it becomes the vision becomes crowdsourced, and then all of a sudden, bingo bango. Those are made. You have Tweaky, in terms of robots. That's AGI, by the way. AGI. Designed that way back 2002. So I'm the father of the smartphone, father of LLMs, father of type droids, C3PO droids, father of von Neumann probes, father of interstellar, father of bootstrapping civilizations up, and Paradise Planet. There, I could have wrote the book on drone warfare that they're using now in 2005. But you know why I didn't write drone warfare in 2005? How the screw up society, right? By Grok, OpenAI, ChatGPT. Smartest scientist in human history just give a talk and explain an invention how to make self-replicating robots, interstellar travel, and bootstrap civilizations up. And that's a nice belt stand on. Oh yeah, because we have personalities. Everybody trying to like act like they're all professional. That's the thing. In society, no one wants to like be themselves. And we're like, I don't want people to think I'm different. I don't want to be different because if you're different, you'll get excluded. I don't want to be different. Guess what? I'm excluded. It's not that bad. I might not be getting. I might not live in a cool house. I might not be. I might not get a piece of pie, but I'm eating a brownie now. Mm. Be yourself, guys. People don't want to be themselves. Like want to be conformists. They don't like themselves. Be you, man. Be you. Real smart science just belches at the end of the stream. Yeah, that was a good talk. Oh, yeah. Okay. Any questions? Fire it.